Hey everybody, Kale here with another battle report. So this time it's my Dark Elves versus an opponent's Goblins. He, I asked him Orcs and Goblins, and he goes, "Boo, hiss, no Orcs, can't trust them." So he's pretty much all Goblins minus some Trolls. And this is my 2,500 point Swedish list, and Dark Elves are uber super comped, and so it kind of makes sense why my list is weird. So we'll just go through that. And these are the spells that I got. And the two that I really needed, as you can see, I didn't get. Dwellers would have been awesome. Because that spell is amazing. And then I didn't get Throne of Vines either, which makes the rest of the life spells not as potent. So I got Awakening of the Wood, Flesh to Stone, Earth, Blood, and Regrowth on my level 4. And she has the Ruby Ring of Ruin, so it gives her Fireball, which is half of my strategy to get rid of regen. And then the Warlocks have Doombolt and Soulblight. So here's my left flank. I kind of castled up, and in retrospect, and I was talking to the guy, that probably a better way to do it would be to spread out a little more, especially with Vanguard and all the movement that I have, because the biggest thing about my list is mobility. So left to right, I have a Scourge Runner Chariot, a Bolt Thrower, 5 Dark Riders with full command, 15 Dark Shards with the Banner of Eternal Flame and full command, a Medusa, a Dreadlord with the Cloak of Twilight. I think I might have given him the Talisman of Endurance, so he's got a 5-up ward save, and like a Dragonbane gem, or he's got a 5-up ward, Cloak of Twilight, and then either the Dragon Helm or the Dragonbane gem for a 2-up against fire. And then over here, I have 5 more Dark Riders full command, a Medusa, 8 Doomfire Warlocks with my level 4 installed. She's got the Talisman of Preservation, Ruby Ring, and a Dispel Scroll. And then there's a Scourge Runner Chariot, 5 Harpies, a Bolt Thrower, and that Rogue Doomfire Warlock is my BSB. And I apologize that I don't have. I know I said there'd be no substitutions, but I just don't have a model for amount of BSB right now, so bear with me next time will be way better. And 5 more Dark Riders full command. So here's his left to right. He's got some really cool looking models, and everything's really great painted. I think he got, what do you say, first for sportsmanship and masters. He's a really fun guy to play. So we've got a Doom Diver there in the back, 25 Night Goblins with bows. Then this guy at a Flying Squig is a Goblin War Boss on a Flying Carpet, and he's got a shield that gives him like a 2-up or something against shooting. And there's a Mangler Squig there in the back left. 21 Squigs with 14 Handlers. Another Goblin War Boss on a Squig with random movement 3d6. He's got a 4-up ward, and then some other stuff. I think he's got a Dawnstone too, because he's got a rerollable armor save. And then 40 Night Goblins in the back with his General, another Goblin War Boss, and then a BSB in there. And then there's 8 Trolls with another Goblin War Boss, and he's got the Wizarding Hat, and he got Soulblight and like Spirit Leech, I think. And then 40 more Night Goblins with a level 4, and then 21 more Squigs with 14 more Handlers. Over here we've got another Mangler Squig and then another Doom Diver. Those models are just awesome. And so this is Vanguard. Just kind of moved up just a little bit to get in shooting range, but not close enough to get charged. Same with over here. And then I put my shades there because I need a 7 to charge that Doom Diver, and I know it could do a lot of damage, and I would like it out of the way. So Goblins get first turn, which makes perfect sense considering I haven't gone first in like 8 games. This is terrible. He flies this guy right here, which is my mistake. I should have made it to where he couldn't get out of my line of sight, because a charge and a banner, possibly a wound, would make it really nice to break that guy and then run them off the board. So that's my mistake there. These guys failed animosity, so they stumbled forward a little bit, so they won't be shooting this turn. And then he kind of moves around like this, so he's pretty much got line of sight everywhere with everybody. So that's kind of nice. Oh, stupidity and no more animosity were failed. And then on the left, you see there, he cast a spell that pretty much lowers my movement and my initiative, I think it is, by D6. So those Dark Riders are now initiative 1 and movement 5. And so I just kind of move stuff up here so I can shoot, maybe do a little damage. I put my Furies up there so I can pretty much move them anywhere. Try to get in somebody's way next turn. My Dreadlord's right there because I thought it would be a good idea. I mean, good backup. Maybe you can charge, challenge, kill something. And then I just kind of move my Doomfire Warlocks over here, put my BSB back in the unit. And I put him over there originally, so if he like Doom Diver'd the Dark Riders that were over there, I would get a reroll. I mean, it's an 8 rerollable. It's better than just an 8, but you never know. And so I move these guys over here and I shoot at him and I don't do any wounds because, like I said, he's got the 2 up against shooting. None of my other shooting did any good. I charged with my scouts at the Doom Diver and rolled a 5, which is unfortunate because I needed a 7. And that would have been really nice to get that thing off the table, but that's okay. No other charges, and I think I probably pick off a few models from one of the Squig units. And then the Mangler comes in, destroys my shades, and then like goes off the table or something and dies. So that was what I didn't want to happen. And this guy, Mr. Random Movement D6, I shot him last turn with a bolt thrower and did 2 wounds with him. Would have been cool if I rolled 5 or 6 because you'll see later this guy may or may not give me a headache. I'm not going to spoil it for you. And my Harpies don't stand up very well. And then no more animosity. Everybody just kind of shuffles up to get ready to murder stuff. So, as you can probably tell, the Warlord, or War Boss, on Squig kills my Harpies and then overruns and makes it into my Dark Riders. So this is my turn too. I rear charge him thinking it's a good idea. Combat res wise, and I cast Flesh to Stone this turn on my Dark Riders because I wanted to save them. And realistically speaking, I probably should have cast it on my Dark Shards because sure I get a parry, but the Dark Riders have a 4-up armor save. And as you can see, he just made good, messy work of my Dark Shards. And I should have made them +2 toughness. But anyway, so I lose combat here. I'm steadfast and I stick, though. And so here he is right here. He's going to do some charges. That's what the dice is there for. I think this is actually his turn 3. So I messed that up a little bit. So here's that. And so what happens is he charges his Squigs into my Dark Riders and I flee. So what they do is they bounce through everything. And if I remember correctly, I failed my leadership test on my Scourge Runner Chariot. And I think I fled with that thing. And then they bounced through, lost 1 with dangerous terrain. And then somebody else charged them, pushed them a little bit farther. And the Squigs on the left there failed the charge. And the Squigs on the right, they redirected. I think hit my Medusa, killed her, and overran into my Scourge Runner Chariot. And then the Trolls ended up there. And the unfortunate part, oh no, the Trolls charged my Dark Shards. So they destroyed that unit. I think he restrained so he didn't overrun. And the War Boss, the Dark Shards died. The Dark Riders fled. And then the War Boss overran into my Dreadlord. So My turn, I rallied the Dark Riders, and I put him right in front of the Trolls because I figure if he charges and the Warlord's still alive, um, he's pretty much going to hit the back of the Warlord and then go nowhere, which would be really nice. As you can see, I picked off a Troll between the Medusa and then some shots from the Dark Riders. The Squigs easily kill the Chariot and overrun. Next turn, they're going to charge the Bolt Thrower, which is unfortunate, but it's all good. It really doesn't have any other good places to go. So, right here, the Warlord charges these guys, or I charged him, one of the two. He kills one, I do a wound, I win, and he makes it. I think he rolled like snakes on this one. And there's kind of a better picture of that. I was going to reform. I thought about it. I talked to him about it. 2 and 2. That way I get more attacks. And I don't know what happened. I never did. Would have been nice, but it's okay. And so here's where this comes into play. So the Trolls charged my Dark Rider. So I was like, awesome. It's going to work out great. And then the Squigs on the upper left fail. These guys charge my Bolt Thrower, which makes sense. And then he casts Soul Blight on my guy, so now I'm Strength 3, Toughness 3, since I'm on a Pegasus, which is terrible. I mean, I'm still wounded on 4s, but 5s, actually, because for some reason Elves are weaker than Goblins, which makes perfect sense. Bolt Thrower dies to a spell. I let it through because I needed to stop something else, and he just got it off and actually killed him. I was hoping he wouldn't. Trolls kill the Dark Riders. Restrain. Night Goblin busts up there, reforms into a bust position, set a horde. Squigs are kind of getting in a position, and that War Boss is still alive. 1 wound for like 4 turns, and I can't kill the guy. Dang. And then Doomfire Warlocks here. Squigs beat them. Reform like that. And so the Trolls, if I remember correctly, charge the Medusa. I stand and shoot. If I remember correctly, I think I pick one off with her shooting. And then she dies. And then on my turn, it looks like this. So I charged the Trolls. No, okay, so the Trolls stayed there. I charged the Trolls with the Medusa and the Warlocks. I figured if I have anything that could probably do it right now, it would be them. So I charged them in, and at this point, I don't really have anything to lose. I mean, I have Warlocks at level 4 and a BSB, a Dreadlord, and 1 unit of Dark Riders. So the game's pretty much over. I mean, this guy's got his whole army left, so I figured, let's go for broke. And then I finally kill that War Boss. My Dreadlord's taking a wound at this point. And then it looks like I've fleshed to stone them, which is good, because hopefully that'll help them a little bit. Strength 5, Toughness 3, so now it's Strength 5, Toughness 5. It's kind of a better picture. So he Soul Blights me on his turn. And then does the spell where it lowers my movement and initiative on my Dreadlord. And he's hoping to roll a 6, but ends up rolling like a 2. So I still get my rerolls for always strikes first. I end up in a challenge with his War Boss with my Sorceress, which is good, because that means that he loses a bunch of attacks on my Warlock unit from his Squigs. I picked up one more guy, and I think this time I did really well. And then at the end of my turn, this is what combat looked like. And so this is like pretty much his turn, so there's nothing else to do. So we're going through a Soul Blight type party phase thing. So I bubble Soul Blighted, and I think he bubble Soul Blighted too. So, I mean, the Mangler, the Trolls, the Squigs are all Soul Blighted. My Warlocks are Soul Blighted. And then my Dreadlord is like -2 movement and initiative. And so this is what it looks like after combat. My sorceress is still on a challenge. She hasn't taken any wounds yet. And my warlocks have one person left, which pretty much a troll can attack, which is nice. So I may or may not live. Well, actually, 2 trolls can attack because the one in the back. And the Dreadlord's just kind of taking hits and pretty much doing 4 or 5 wounds each turn. So just kind of whittling them down when in combat. That's kind of one more warlock dying, showing that everybody's soul blighted. He reforms into kind of a, to get 3 ranks instead of, I think he had like 1 or 2 before he reformed, which is better for combat res for him. And then the Mangler goes through, which I was actually pretty happy about because I was like, this could be awesome, right? Like, it's going to be fun just to watch, and we were laughing about it. I was like, no, you should do it. And he's like, yeah, but I might hit my own guys. And I was like, and he's kind of like that. I don't know. I think he wanted to. So I was like, yeah, but you can angle it to where you hit everybody minus the squigs on the bottom right. And he goes, all right, let's do it. So I rolled boxcars for the trolls, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to kill a bunch of them, right? And I was like, it's going to be sweet. So I think strength 5, and they're like toughness 3 right now, so I'm moving on 2. So I get 11 wounds. And he makes like 8 regens, I think. So I kill 1 full troll out of all that. And I don't know, math says that probably shouldn't have happened. But that's okay. So, I mean, it didn't do as much work as I hoped it would, but it did quite a bit. And then I rolled a 10 for these guys, and I think killed like 8 of them or something, which is nice. And then I have 2 wounds on my sorcerers from that now, 1 wound on my BSB. My warlock made, I think, his 2 ward saves. And then he gives his night goblins poison after that, hopefully trying to hurt the Dreadlord a little more. This I just could not. I can't remember if he irresistible forced it or I just rolled terribly to dispel it. But so now these guys are initiative 2, which means, if I remember correctly, the squigs attack first, which is just terrible. This is really bad at this point. And then my Dark Riders here actually broke the War Boss. The War Boss fled through the Night Goblins. The Night Goblins panicked and ran. I chased, I failed. My turn. I charged the War Boss off the table, redirected, and then got the Night Goblins. So that worked out pretty good. These guys are the MVP unit of my army. At this point, they've done the most damage, probably. Finally, in the challenge, he sinks a wound through, which sucks because now my squig, now his squigs are in combat with a warlock, which is gonna do some damage. I mean, you got 3, which is like 6, 9 attacks from squigs, and then like 3 handlers or something. So that guy's definitely dead. Then my BSB is in contact with 2 trolls. And yeah, that's what happens. But, you know, I mean, it was fun while it lasted. Good times. Dreadlord's here. Just kind of putting in work. Everybody else is now there. And then at the end of my turn, I kill those guys to a man, which is good because they won't explode. And then that's the end of the game. So I have a Dreadlord left and a Dark Rider unit. I went over some strategy and stuff with this guy because he's a pretty good player. He's been playing for a long time and he knows his stuff, so that's good. And so that's the end of the game. I hope you like it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. What I could do better to make it more of a better experience. And thanks. Bye.